Hey, welcome back to my channel, Fun with Fisherman Dean. Today we're playing with a little more Model A stuff here. Seems like people want to see Model A stuff. I'm doing little projects, so let's see what we got to do. So what we're going to put together here is this. Got a ground strap. We're going to get rid of the red ground cable that I have, which is wrong. Probably should be a red cable, but it's going to be factory type stuff. I think it's supposed to be copper one on back order, so I could only get a braided, I guess it's stainless steel. We're going to install a shut-off switch. All right, shut-off switch. Here's the 16-inch cable that comes with the kit. Not really kit, you got to buy it. I bought individual pieces from Snyder's, but and then the positive positive ground on these. So this is the negative wire going to the battery. Okay, it's going to plug in that for an on and off switch to turn it off so we don't burn the car down. And picked up also an A11450-SF, which is the safety fuse kit. We're going to install that too. So hang in there. We're going to get this all set up. I'm going to work on a little better lighting here, and we're going to install this as our next thing. Plus we got a door project going on for this car too that we're doing off site, and that'll be part of another project we'll do real quick on that. But we're going to put it's a slant window car, put a whole new latch assembly in it that's supposedly for a 32.5 window. That's supposed to be a plug and play from what Snyder says. We're going to give it a shot and see what it says, and we'll give our endorsement or not and see what it is. But anyway, hang in there. There'll be more coming, and Fun with Fisherman Dean Model A series. Thanks. Take a look at what I've done, and you can tell me whether it's right or wrong. I already know whether it's wrong or not. It's wrong, but let's take a look anyway. So if you look at what we have here, hopefully you can see well enough. But I've got a red cable going here to the starter, which should be a black cable to start with, right? So this one came from the negative post to the starter. And if you look down here, I've actually got another red cable, which is the positive cable, to a ground on the block. Well, not supposed to be that way. There should be, instead of having the ground to the block like I did there, I guess it needs to have this on there going to the frame. So we got to figure that out where that's going to be. The other part of it is this whole thing here. You've got, this is to the power from the battery to the starter switch. That's what this is. And then you have power here to, I guess, to all the ignition and everything comes off of this. So we're going to install on the back side here, there's two bolts just like this on the back side. And on those two bolts, we're going to install this. So this is going to be our fuse system. There's a couple of fuses in here. Put the fuse in that. This isn't exactly the one I'd hoped I was going to get when I ordered. I hoped to get one that actually had a post here to mount my starter thing on there, my power cable. But we'll figure this whole thing out. But this is going to bolt like this, using these longer screws to bolt on the back of the starter. And then we've got the connections to connect the electrical system into this whole thing. So, but that's what's going to end up going in here on the back side, which probably doesn't have too much good a light to see, because if black on black doesn't make any difference here. So got a crazy wire in here. You can see that I've got it all taped up. That's actually a red and black wire that goes over here that I just put an electric windshield wiper motor in, because I couldn't take rebuilding that vacuum wiper again for the third time, getting different results each time. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pop that fuse system in back here, pop that in, tie the wiring system to that, get rid of this. So we're gonna end up having, instead of this power cable coming here, that power cable, which is gonna end up being a black wire coming from the battery. So that red wire is gonna be replaced, that battery conduction here is gonna be this wire going into the switch. And then this switch, this wire is gonna go up and over to here, and that's going to be the on and off for power going up to this switch. So if you turn this off, there'll be no power to the ignition, no power to the electrical system, and there'll also be no power to coming from the battery to the starter switch. So that's the goal. And where we put this in for a positive ground, I'm not sure we're doing that yet, but that's coming too. So I'm sure that's short cable, comes right from the frame. I kind of like things, since I do a lot of boating stuff, I like things right to the block, but that's what we'll have to figure out. So stay tuned when we start the process. All right, hang in. First thing we're going to do is, this is a 5/8 connection, right? 5/8 bolt. So we're going to take that 5/8 off of there, and we're going to disconnect our power, a negative power right now, right, to the battery. We'll get rid of that right away. So I don't have any washers on that, but that's going to go out of here. We'll get rid of this all together, and we're also going to disconnect our electrical system, which is also right there. Okay, so that disconnects everything we have here. And then we'll go in here and we're gonna get rid of what we have over here to, I don't know if you can see it very well, but we have power right here. We're gonna get rid of that power wire. So that power cable is coming right out of here. And there it is, okay? So this is my kind of a quick fix thing. I always disconnected the batteries when I worked on things, but that's what I have. So we'll get rid of that real quick. And don't mind the mess on the table, but that's what we do around here. We make messes. So anyway, this is what I did. I connected all this stuff. Got this switch from Tams. Take a look at what we have here. And we're gonna replace this. We're gonna stuff this in the hole. I'm gonna use this hole here to put this thing through. I'm gonna lock it down. And that's where we're gonna be. And then we're gonna run, this wire is gonna come back up like this, up to this post here. I believe is what I'm doing. Yep, going to that. And then we're gonna have this one go to the negative on the battery. Sound good? All right, let's see if we can do that too. In fact, maybe what we should do is strip out that positive too while we're at it. So hang on, let me do that real quick because it's gonna be dark in that spot and you probably won't pick anything up anyway. So be right back. We can get done here. I gotta get these things back here out and hopefully they come out easy. Yeah, not too bad. Okay. All right, supposedly in this kit it has replacement screws. I don't know if they're supposed to be longer than these or not, but we'll find out here in a second. I don't know if you guys can see that okay. Yeah, I think you can see it okay. Has directions too, huh? All right. A couple of things. We'll put the fuse in last. Huh? Okay, seems to be in. See one washer. Oh, the second washer. Okay. Yep. All right. Motorcycle sounds like a chainsaw going down the street. All right, so that's one of them that's out. And are they longer than? I guess they are just a hair longer than the originals. So let's get the other one out now. I think that's loose. Yeah, like it was loose. The new ones will be a lot easier going in because I'll be able to see those little suckers. All right, let's see what we got here. So we'll ditch these, put these in, and see what we end up with here. All right, everybody can see what I've got here, I guess, right? So we'll use these with lock washers. Let's see if we can get this in the car, and we'll start from there. See what happens. Hope you guys are still with me. This camera's still working. It'd be great if it's still working. I don't know if you can see all right, but that's where I'm at. Right? Wow, this might not be as easy as it is for a old man with glaucoma. All right, let's see what I got here. Let's see what I got here. Well, one thing I do like about this is the fact that it actually doesn't have Phillips head screws, because I was looking at something the other day and I was like, are you kidding me? Phillips head screws. It's like, can't even match the screw type. Most of this stuff I'm pretty sure is probably foreign made. Right, probably foreign made. Anyway, let me just look at this real quick and make sure I got a screwdriver's gonna work. All right, there we go. Got my eyes on it. That's good. Maybe I can get it set up before I get in here. Maybe just a little. Yeah, maybe. Maybe just a little. I don't know. Am I close anyway? Yeah, I'm close. I'm close. Yep. Doesn't look like it's even finding the holes here yet. Got it right there, right? Yeah, it's right there. I can see it. Let's see if we get that in that spot there. sure we're in the right spot here. All right. It's one of them anyway. Didn't seem like it had a lot of threads for something that's supposed to be a little bit longer than the originals, but I'll tell you in a minute here. Tell you in a minute. I got my fat fingers in here. I'll figure this one out too. Oh, hang on, guys. Hang with me, guys. Hang with me. We'll get this put together somehow. We'll put it together somehow. Oh, hang with me. Sound like somebody just went down the road dropping something. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but like somebody did something. Dropped something. All right, that should be close, right? All right, we'll get that tightened down nice and tight. If you guys are still with me. Bring you up a little bit. Get this one tight. Just trying to keep it so the car don't burn down, right? That's what we're after. All right, that's that. Okay. All right, that's the start on that project, I guess. So this, let's go on to this, I guess. That's how that goes, right? And I'll go through the fuse, and this one here is going to be an open for here, I guess, right? That makes sense? Yeah, makes sense, I guess. And that's how the wiring will work. So that way the power will come up from the battery. Once the switch is on, battery goes to here, goes through the fuse, and then goes to that. So that should protect the wiring system from any kind of a surge. Probably should put this all together before I actually put it in the car here. I don't know. Yep. There's kind of a loop. Yep. Okay, so it has a big washer. The washer, I guess, is what helps to hold that together, I guess. Okay. I was kind of hoping this would all unscrew, but didn't want to unscrew easy for me this morning, so I was like, ah, crap, I guess I'm doing it this way. Doing it the hard way. Yeah, doing it the hard way. Any way you can get your hand in here is the hard way. Yeah, like I said, take some of these off maybe. Let me get this one out of the way. If I get that one off, I could probably make a little room here. Yeah, I lost my washer. Yep. Okay. All right, if you can wait a minute here, I'll have this hopefully in a second together. Hopefully I don't drop it to the bottom of the car, right? That look like it's gotta go around. Come on, come on. In you go. Nope. See if I can pick this up just a hair and get that in, right? Really? Come on. Yeah, come on, little cuss. Here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna put that loop, kick that off just a hair, so we have enough room that's not right up against the fuse. And that should do it. All right, let's get a fuse in that. And that should be what I need for that. Right? That one should make it so it's a... All right, so the power comes up. It's going to come up from the battery. That's going to be negative, right? Because it's positive ground. So negative comes to here. There's going to be a switch that's going to be right here, on and off. So we flip that on and off. We'll send the battery power up to here. And that'll allow the ignition to go through. So this is the main switch will be here, going to the battery. So I'll start doing that process now. So hang on with me. So we're going to take this all apart. Going to take the handle off. Make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to take the handle off. I'm going to take this screw out of the middle. All right. And pop that off. Take these. See if I can push this down. There you go. Take this nut off. I think there's a locking thing. So I went and got a washer. There was no washer, no head plate for this at all. So I went and got a washer from Home Depot. And that's what's going to secure it in to our mount, I think. So we're going to set this, hopefully, is going to go right down We're gonna do a couple fits here, I guess, to make this work. But so I'm gonna put this down through here, I guess. Actually, let's go from the other side. So, all right, let's pop this in from inside the car if we can. All right, I hope you guys can see, but I'm gonna go right inside of this engine mount right here. This is where I want to put it. I've taken my wrenches already and I put my stuff on here. So hopefully I'm not gonna be touching anything in here that's gonna zap anything, but that's my goal. I'm gonna come up through here, right? And that's what we're gonna attach. So let's, I'm gonna put something between that terminals and that battery just so we don't hit anything under here. I don't know if you guys can see okay, but I just don't want to set anything off sparks wise. So I'll put that on there for now, just as a precaution, okay? But you can see how I fit that up inside the mount. All right, I pre-tightened all the cables and everything onto it. So hopefully I can grab it from the bottom. I've got a couple of lock things here. Hopefully I can do it with. Don't know how much of a pain in the bottom this is going to be, but we're going to try it like this, right? Put that on like that. Okay, do it like this. And then I'm going to put a lock washer that comes with it. And I'm going to put, I guess, the brass first on this. Probably don't need to have two. I don't know, we'll figure it out. We're going to get it on like that. I hope you guys can see okay. All right, that's what I'm doing first. Then we're going to make that nice and tight. But I got to check it from the inside because I want to make sure nothing is touching any of the inside bolts for the engine mount, right? That transmission mount. So I want to kick it over this way as best as I can. And I've got a second one, so we're going to tighten that first. But let's get a good look at where we're at. I'm going to use my phone here real quick to see if we can get some light on the subject. So there it is down there. Okay, good. So I'm going to tighten up just like that, right in that spot. This one is going to bend back up to go to the starter, and this one here is going to be for the negative post. That's yeah, that's the negative post. So this is going to go to the post over here. All right, I don't know why my engine mount has my battery cocked like that, but that's where it is right now. So we'll figure that out. And okay, I think that'll work. We can do something with that. That's good. Okay, just bear with me a minute. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got a wrench here for that. Let's see if we can make that somewhat tight here. I don't know if we can, but we'll try. Yeah. Let's maybe do it by hand first. A little bit more by hand first, I guess. Let's see what we got. Okay. I'm not sure exactly where the switch is right now on the on and off stuff, but we'll figure that out in a minute too. So we can probably adjust that as we go along. Okay, see if I get this to stay where I want it to be. I don't want it to be anything crazy position here, but let's try it, see what happens. Yeah, see what we got. Get nice and tight. Because if this thing moves around, it jiggles in here. Oh, look at it, just moved around like that. Didn't want it to move like that, but it just did. Must have found a better spot to sit or something. Just went flush, I guess. But we wanted to get it nice and tight, and we don't want it to be able to jig around, because if it grounds off on those bolts, that is not going to be pretty. All right, let's make that nice and tight like that. All right, those bolts, just got to make sure those are not going to touch on the inside. And then we'll use the outside nut that we have here as a lock nut to lock that in place once we get that tight. So I'm going to go a little bit tighter on that just for the sake of going tighter. Because these things just scare me. They scare me unless they... Let me see if I can get this a little bit better if I can. That'd be great. Oh, turn in there. Don't turn. I want you to turn in there. Because I don't know how you're going to end up tightening these things up after the fact. Yep. And the whole idea is not to burn your car down. So installing one of these stupid switches, right, shouldn't be a pretense for burning your car down either. So let's see what we got. I'll pop this on for the second, just for the second of seeing what it does. Maybe you don't need that. That'll be the lock thing on that. But let's take a look in here and make sure none of those things are touching each other or touching any bolts over here, right? I don't think they are. Okay, we'll double check that in a minute when I come off the camera and stuff. But so this is going to go to the negative, which is over here. This is going to go to back up to the starter, so it's got to go behind all this, behind all the pedals to get up there, so it's unobstructed. So, all right, give me a minute. I will be back to you when I figure out what I'm doing next here. So hold on. Sure exactly where we should be orientation-wise, but the whole idea is really theft prevention and to be able to turn the power off so the car doesn't burn up if there's any electrical issues, right? But that should be the on position and the off position. You want to make sure that you're not lined up anywhere here with something that's going to cause a problem. So I think we're okay. So that'll be, you know, when you stop your car, turn it off. Now when you want to start your car, you turn it on, sends battery up, so you have full battery power through ignition and all that stuff. And then when you're done, turn it off. And that's what I'm seeing here now, right? That makes sense? All right. So let me, let's take another look at some things here real quick. And, okay, so let's take a look at something real quick, see where we are. Wires wise, we look like we're not crossed, we're not touching anything. Doesn't look like we're touching either one of those posts in there. If we are, it's for ground anyway, which is grounding the casing, which is probably okay. I think we're okay. So we're gonna plug some of these things in and let's see how we make out. All right, so I think we're okay. So bear with me and I'll be right back to you. We walk our way through this stuff. Walking our way through this stuff here, guys. That's all we're doing. So there's a wire that has to come back. So this is off, this is on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the wire that goes up to the starter and we're gonna run that one next. So let's get this one out, right? And I'm gonna run this one up behind, obviously it has to be behind the pedal because you don't want any of this in front of the pedals, right? So this will come up like this. I'm just gonna push stuff that right there for the moment. All right. And then I'm coming up here and I'm gonna run this onto here. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one on the bottom and this one on top. So I'm gonna use the wire and stuff on the top here. So let's try that and see what it does. That way it probably makes no difference at all, but I'm gonna do it that way just for the sake of doing it. All right, now I'll get that down tight and then we're gonna grab our regular nut for this and we're gonna put that on. All right. And let's see if, I don't know if I still, bear with me a second here. Bear with me a second here. Good shape here. So this wire is my wiper wire, so I'll have to do some deal with that in a little bit, different way here. Make it look a little, prettied up a little bit. But I got rid of the red and wire. I didn't like the red wire in there, but, so we fed this wire in. Okay, it's up underneath. I want to make sure it's not in the way of anything as far as the, the pedals. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit of an angle here, just to make sure that it holds away from all that stuff. And then we're going to tighten it. We're going to tighten it. We're going to see how we end up there. So this cable is not connected to any kind of battery yet. So we're a safe bet of just installation here. So I'd connect the battery up last if I were you. I don't think it's safe to go live with anything until you feel as though you got everything double checked and everything's the way you want it to be. But so that's that, I guess, right? I don't want it to be too crazy here, but I just want to get it tight enough to. There's a battery connection, so I want to make sure we get this right. Yep. Yeah, maybe I need to do it the other way around. I don't know. See what we got. Just get this tight enough so it's the way you want it to be. Yep. Support the back end so you don't ruin this connection here while you're doing it. But that should be the right way. Sorry, I got the wire run up here so it's behind the pedals. It's tight to here. Goes to here, right? Okay. So all we need now is a connection to the battery to test it to see if it actually works, right? So let me I gotta put a ground in first for the battery. So I don't have, this is the power side of things. So this is the negative side, positive ground in these cars, remember. So, all right, let me, so this puts this all into place. This is all wired. There's now a fuse between the ignition so that can't burn up. That's all tight. All right, I retightened all the stuff I took everything apart before, where I had my own wires and stuff going to the block. So now I've got to find a ground scenario, another ground for the, hang on, come on there, buddy. There you go. Yep. I'll get that in a minute here. But anyway, so I got to find the ground to the frame. So I will be back in a minute. Thank you. Let's take a look at what we've done today. All right, we got on-off switch, okay, mounted on the engine mount. Not a new idea. Saw somebody else's car, they had this, did the same thing. Had to pick up the washer. Didn't come with a top mounting washer or anything like that, so I picked up a washer, 7/8 center from Home Depot. A couple of bucks, that was it. And that makes a more of a solid footing, so when you put this on, covers the hole, fills the hole so it doesn't fall all the way through. Had to order 2 cables. I had one, I didn't have the right cables for this, but I ended up having order 2 cables. I think the number 2 cables, I think you call them. One is a cable that goes from the battery to the switch, and then there's a second post on the bottom of the switch to carry through, so when it goes in the on position, it sends the power up from the other side of the switch to the starter, okay? And then from the starter, that should make everything run, okay? I put a new ground strap on, the whole 9 yards, just to make sure everything was up to par for that. I'm trying to make sure the electrical system is not going to be a problem here for any kind of tours and stuff I do. So then I put in, to protect the rest of the car, a fuse thing. All right, so this comes off the same post that comes from our switch, which indirectly comes from the battery. So battery switch to here. Then it goes in here and we run a fuse, a 30 amp fuse instead of running our electrical system directly to the battery, battery post, which is basically the starter post carrying through back to the battery. I put that on. It's the regular kit you can buy through any of the places, TM's or Snyder's or Bratton's is the 3 that I tend to use the most. Stamps being the local guy. This comes with longer screws, as you can see back here, in case these are a little too short, because you're adding a little extra material in here for that. Now these, you got to make sure it says in the directions, don't allow these bolts to be more than 1/4 of an inch more than they should be going through, because I think it says it'll actually ground out the starter, which you don't want to do. And I guess they get too far into the housing, it becomes a problem here. So I'll see all the field coils or whatever is in there. Not knowledgeable of what's inside there much, but over the years it's going away from me. But anyway, so that gives you that. So you have the power here. So power up here into this system, and that goes into the box. So now protected with a 30 amp fuse here. You can get them in any place that you want. Any electrical store, and automotive store will have that fuse if you need one. So that runs it all the way through. So let's test it, right? So the switch is in the off position. All right, I got the floor and everything out in here. I put a new ground on it, but I ran my cables through. There's my cable going into the switch. You can almost see the switch down there. It's kind of out of sight here, not mine here. I got the floorboards out. But if the switch is not switched the right position, doesn't matter what you have for the key on here, but if you push the starter, you get nothing. Get nothing at all, okay? So there's no power being transferred from the battery to the starter. So if I flip this switch to the on position, that should give me power to be able to crank it. And let's see what happens here. So I won't even worry about that, but we'll fire up the, there you go. See how it cranks? All right, perfect. So let's go one step further to make sure that what I've done is okay. And let's get the car, I always turn my gas off before I leave the car. So let me put the thing back together again. We let some gas run in there. I've got the door off. We're doing some work on the door, the latch part. I could unlatch the door and open the door from the inside. I couldn't from the outside. So we're doing it 32 from Snyder's. I bought a kit that's a 32 5-window latch mechanism that's supposed to be the same as the slant window 4-door, 31 slant window 4-door. So I bought the kit, and we're going to attempt to install that too. So we'll see where we're on that. That's the next project you're going to see very shortly. So let's put some power on this thing. Let's get ready for a little choke, and let's see if we, and we're up and running. So, yep, I think we're good. So, yeah. there you go. So that switch we installed is doing the job. So our little switch down there is doing its thing. We've changed so far this year. What we've done is we're making a touring car out of this, but I've put an alternator in this car, 6-volt alternator, positive ground. We've installed that. We have the charging mechanism working right. I wanted to have a shut off so I could leave the car without having to keep taking the battery. The floor is out to change the battery, so we got the switch now under the hood for that. Got the fuse and the electrical system, which is all relatively new, over 20 years ago. So it's not, you know, it's kind of a mouse house, so that's how it works. But so I think we're in good shape on a lot of this stuff. Everything's working good, so I think we're gonna have a good touring car next year. Goal here is to get a car so I can drive basically to the New England meet, 2005 New England meet in Boxborough, Massachusetts next year. September of next year, we're going. Little Roadie's gonna go. I don't know who's joining us, but so far we've got 2 going, me and somebody else. This car going and another car going. We haven't attended that in a couple of years. We used to have a lot of cars that used to go, but we're on our way to rebuilding our club and getting more active with the things we do, and getting our goal as tech program guy for the club, along with Dennis Alsop. Our goal is to get more cars out of the garage and on the road. So me also. It's been a lot of years since I've been out on the road. I haven't ridden this car really a lot since 2001. And then, you know, so back up and running. Went from a car that had been sleeping for 20 years to a car that's up and running, drivable car, getting the electrical system all squared away for a long run thing. We're gonna do some tours next year and getting ready to do some fun things. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Just a quick little thing to say hello. We're working on some of our things. Little Roadie Model A Club is coming back super strong here, and just something to have some fun with. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. Like, share, and comment if you would. Definitely need to have as many people who subscribe to my site as possible in order to keep these things going. We plan to keep doing more Model A stuff. The gas turned off here, so I'm waiting for it to stall, but as many subscribers as we can get, the better we'll be, and we'll do a lot more of this stuff. And we got a lot of club stuff to do, and we want to get more organized with that. And like I say, if you enjoy it, and I hope you do, if you have something you'd like to see us do, that we'd like to do, we would love to have ideas. Club members bring us something once a month, and if you'd like to join Little Roadie Model A Club, it's $22 a year. We meet at the Cornerstone of Faith Church on Main Street in Coventry, Rhode Island, just about every Sunday, second Sunday, I should say, not every Sunday, every second Sunday of the month. And basically the only one we don't do is August, is kind of our vacation month. But outside of that, unless we're on a tour, they're out there. You can find us on Facebook, Little Roadie Model A Club of Rhode Island. You can also find, comment to me if you have any interest in joining the club, and I'll love to have you come aboard and be involved in stuff. If you have a car that you want to work on, club is a great place to be. A lot of helpful people there, a lot of knowledgeable people. They're just fun to get along and socialize and stuff like that. Fun hobby. Again, check us out. Join the club if you're interested in. If you have a car, if you don't have a car, join the club if you're just interested. Maybe you can get a car from somebody who's got one for sale. And thank you for watching my video. Appreciate it. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.